Welcome in, welcome back, or welcome to my channel, brothers and sisters. I just appreciate you for clicking in and seeing what I have to say. I hope the message speaks. I hope the message is clear so that way you hear God exactly the way He needs you to hear Him. So welcome in and thanks for being here. So in a few videos back, and by a few videos, I mean, it could be like a month ago. So bear with me here. But I boldly stated, just in my experience, the journey I've been on, the path I've been on, and, just in being brave and putting my testimony out there, I made the bold statement, saving face is not the same as giving grace. But if we're honest, how many times have we confused the two? We smile, we nod, we say, God's got it, and, I'll say a prayer for you. And then we walk away from somebody who is clearly drowning. We call it grace, but most of the time it's fear, it's image, it's performance. I've done it. You probably have too. We all have. Because real grace requires presence. It doesn't look for the exit. It doesn't hide behind scriptures to avoid discomfort. It doesn't use prayer hands as a substitute for showing up. Sometimes we slap on a Bible verse like a Band-Aid when God's asking us to sit in the wound. And the lines can get blurry. Like I said, there can be people out there thinking they're giving grace and they're really saving face. And, we have people out there that just really don't care. They're out there saving face and they don't care about giving grace. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what saving face looks like and what giving grace looks like. And we need to constantly be asking ourselves, which one are we doing? Because we can be in alignment with Jesus's heart one minute, and the next minute we're relying on our heart, leaning on us and the world around us. Saving face is about protecting your reputation. It's managing appearances. It's making sure you look holy, even when your heart's in pieces. It's about making sure you look holy no matter what's going on around you. Remember Saul in 1 Samuel 15? God gives him a clear command, destroy everything. But Saul keeps the best livestock. And then he lies about it. Samuel confronts him and Saul insists, I did obey the Lord. But no, he didn't. He kept the best livestock when God told him to destroy everything. And when the pressure gets too high, Saul finally admits the truth, but then says, please honor me before the elders. He wasn't repenting. He was managing optics. That's what saving face does. It's not about being right with God. It's about being seen as right by people. And that's dangerous. The fear of man is a snare, Proverbs 29:25. You can get so focused on looking righteous that you forget how to actually become righteous. Now, on the other side of the coin is grace. Not the sugar-coated version we like to mass produce, not the smile and wave, bless your heart version. Real grace is fierce. It moves towards the mess without flinching. Look at John 8. A woman caught in adultery, dragged into the dirt, exposed, used as a prop by the Pharisees to trap Jesus. But Jesus didn't react. He stoops. He wrote in the dirt and said, let the one without sin cast the first stone. One by one they leave. And then what happened? Grace happened. He turned to her and said, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Grace doesn't excuse. Grace restores. That's the kind of love we've received. And that's the kind of love we are called to give. Here's where it hits home. We've built a Christian culture around image. We post verses, we smile on Sundays, we say I'm good when we're barely holding on. And then someone opens up vulnerable and raw, and instead of meeting them there, We panic, we toss a phrase, we move on. Why? Because image is safer than intimacy. And we've mistaken niceness for holiness. But Jesus didn't protect image. He pursued truth. He flipped tables to protect purity. He touched lepers no one else would touch. He called out sin, not to shame, but to free. You clean the cup, you clean the outside of the cup, but inside you're full of greed and self-indulgence. Matthew 23:25. He is not impressed by performance. He wants truth in the inward parts. Why do we save face? Because we're scared. Scared of being judged, scared of being wrong, scared of being seen. So we choose shallow. We choose silence. We choose a polished version of grace that never costs us anything. But real grace, it costs. How many times do we sit in church or a sermon or a live or a Bible study or a church group, and we're listening in and everything's just going without skipping a beat, and within that beat somebody is crying out in need, and nobody notices it? And more, not the person with the agenda enough to lay down their own agenda for that night and address what's going on. Because if they did, if they addressed that rawness, that cry, that struggle, the fear of what might come with that, for their image, for their reputation, for their looks, for what they're trying to build for themselves. The Lord disciplines those he loves. Hebrews 12:6. Grace doesn't ignore, it corrects, it convicts, it draws you back into truth. So the next time someone breaks in front of you, don't save face. Step into the moment. Sit with them. Be with them. Stop everything and let God fill that place with his presence. And if we're still not sure that grace is costly, if we're still not sure, look at the cross. Jesus didn't save face. He was spit on. He was mocked, beaten, stripped. He bore public shame so you could be fully known and fully loved. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame. Hebrews 12:2. That joy, that was you. So yes, yes, grace absolutely costs. It might cost your pride, your comfort, your image, but it brings life and it looks like Jesus. So I want to end with this. Are you protecting your image or participating in someone's healing? Are you staying quiet to be liked or speaking life to be faithful? Let's stop saving face. Let's start giving grace. You don't need perfect words. You just need a faithful heart. Be present. Be honest. Be spirit-led. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. So stop pretending to be strong. Stop pretending to be put together. Stop pretending you don't see. Let's get real. Let's give grace. Let's be like Jesus.